Welcome in, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really hope that you guys are doing well, and I hope you enjoyed the Bosnia versus Wales soccer game as much as I did. So that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm just going to give my take and reaction on the game and just what I liked and didn't like in the game. So I'm still recovering emotionally from the game, from the high. So it was an amazing game to watch, and we're going to talk about all of that. Just before we jump into that, I would like to mention that on my YouTube channel, I create content about money, sports, and personal topics with the goal of bringing value to other people's lives. So if you guys find value in this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel so that I can continue making these videos. Also, feel free to hit the like button and make some comments as well. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into the Bosnia versus Wales soccer game. All right, so let's go ahead and give some background um, on the game and just on Bosnia's soccer team. So Bosnia was going through the World Cup qualification stage, and in their group, they ended up in second place. The first place team ended up being Austria, and the first place team automatically qualifies for the World Cup, and thus Austria qualified. And the second place team in the group, in this case Bosnia, they would go through a knockout phase to still try to make World Cup 2026. So that's where this game comes into play. Their first knockout game was this game versus Wales, and the winner of the game goes on to the second stage of knockout, and the loser is eliminated from World Cup qualification potential. So that's just a little background on the game and what Bosnia was facing. So huge game. They had to win this one to make it to the second stage of the knockout games. And still, with that one, they have to win that one as well to make the World Cup. So they still have a lot of work to do, but the first major step has been accomplished, and we'll see what happens on Tuesday. So next, let's go ahead and talk about the actual game itself and just my thoughts and reaction to what I saw. So in the first half, honestly, I didn't like too much how Bosnia was playing. I know that Wales is a better team historically, and they're supposed to have more talent. And I knew, Bosnia was going to play somewhat defensive in this game, but just for me personally, I felt like it was a little too defensive. We didn't have a lot of chances, and even though I know it played out well in the end, and it probably was a wise decision, I just don't like when you're way too defensive and give the other team just too much control over the game. The ball possession for Wales was very high in the first half, so I'm not the biggest fan of that strategy, but it ended up working out in this game, and it was a wise decision. But just visually and aesthetically watching the game, it wasn't the prettiest first half. Just a lot of dominance by Wales, and we were lucky that um, we didn't give up a goal in the first half. So would have liked to seen a little more ball possession in the first half and a few more opportunities on the offensive side, but the coaches and players, they know better than I do. But just as a fan watching, a little too defensive in the first half for my liking. The second half was definitely a different story. Wales ended up going up 1-0. Um, they had a counter opportunity. Bosnia's goalie, Vasil, was a bit out of place and off balance, and Wales ended up scoring a very nice goal. And that was a very impressive goal by them. And then after that goal, the game basically flipped, it changed. And that's really what I loved about the game. Bosnia came out a lot more aggressive. They're down 1-0, so they had to tie it up. And they put in some new and fresh players in the game um, that really, I think, helped them out in the end. Um, so in the 80 something minute, we have a corner kick, Edin Dzeko header, and he gets the equalizing goal. And it was just euphoria, really, at that point. I mean, I was thinking this was just going to be a win by Wales, but the 40-year-old Edin Dzeko, he steps up to the plate, steps up for his country, and gets equalizing goal. And that was just, it was just unbelievable, man. My emotions were just all over the place. I was sweating. It was just amazing to watch that. And of course, in the extra time, it just went back and forth. Wales had some opportunities, Bosnia had opportunities. And I really liked how Bosnia played in the second half and in the extra time. I love the aggressiveness relative to the first half. So amazing second half of the game. And we get to the penalty shootout. It's not looking good. We miss on our first penalty. Ermedin Demirovic and Wales scores on their first penalty. So it was just looking bad to start. But things changed quickly from there. And we ended up winning in the penalty shootout. So just a roller coaster ride of a game, a lot of emotions, a lot of anxiety, just amazing game. And this is why we love to watch the game. So very proud of the national team. And we still have a game to go before we qualify for the World Cup. All right, so I just want to talk about some of the players that stood out and maybe some that didn't have the best games in this one. So Edin Dzeko was pretty quiet for 90% of the game. He didn't have a lot of opportunities, and it was just looking like a bad performance by him. But he got one opportunity towards the end of the game, took advantage of it from the corner, headed it into the goal. So he literally didn't have any opportunities the whole game, and the one that came up, he was able to capitalize on it. So that's how quickly a game can change or a player's game can change. He can be quiet the whole game, and in just one moment, he's the difference maker, like Edin Dzeko was in this one. I think Esmir Baraktarevic had a pretty good game. He was making some nice crosses and giving the guys opportunities in the box. So that was good to see. And I think the subs that came in, um, Haris Tabakovic, I think he was a nice boost on the offensive end. Um, he had some opportunities as well. Um, on the other hand, Ermedin Demirovic didn't have the best game. He had a lot of different opportunities and also in the penalty shootout, but he wasn't able to capitalize in any of those opportunities. So it would have been nice to see him score a goal in one of those opportunities, but I'm sure it'll be different the next time around. And I think a lot of the other guys had pretty good games as well. Um, Amar Dedic, he had a solid game. Muharamovic had a pretty good game on the defensive end. So I was definitely impressed by all the guys. I think we have a lot of talent, a lot of young future stars on the team. So I love watching the games because you have all these young players for Bosnia. And then you have 40-year-old Edin Dzeko. He's like the big brother for everybody. So I think it was a good effort by the team. And I was definitely proud of how they played, particularly in the second half of the game and extra time. So for Bosnia, their next opponent is going to be Italy. That's going to be on Tuesday. So whoever wins on Tuesday makes the World Cup. Um, Italy hasn't been in the World Cup for a few times now, so they're definitely hungry to get back in the tournament. They're not the best team. They're not like the old Italy. So I think Bosnia definitely has a chance against them. And the winner makes the World Cup. So that's going to be must watch TV. We're going to be rooting for the Bosnian Dragons for our brothers. And let's get another win. All right, guys, that's all I wanted to share for this game. Just wanted to share my joy and excitement from Bosnia's win and from them staying alive in the FIFA World Cup 2026 qualifications. And if you guys found value in this video and enjoy the content, again, subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit that like button, make some comments on what you thought of the game and the upcoming game versus Italy. And I'll see you guys next time. Take care.